गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। यस्यैकनि श्वसितकालमथावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमविलजा जगदण्डनाथा विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। अहो चित्रमहो चित्रम् वन्दे तत्प्रेमबन्धनम् यद्बद्धं मुक्तिदं मुक्तम् ब्रह्मक्रीडाभृगीकृतम् यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वम् यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्मंह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। The divine souls will have a few minutes of Nam Sankirtan, and after that I'll explain the spiritual significance of Dhanteras. Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda 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 Radhe
Govinda Radhe
Govinda Radhe
Govinda Radhe
Govinda Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govinda 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 Govinda Radhe
Bolo Ladli Lal Ki. Today is Dhanteras. Teras means the 13th day after the full moon. So the moon cycle is broken into two halves. Shukla Paksh, which is the half after the new moon, when the moon starts building. And after the full moon, then it's Krishna Paksh, as the moon is waning back down towards, from the full moon to the new moon. New moon means no moon. No moon shows. So Diwali night is the new moon night. 2 days before that is the teras, and it's called Dhanteras. Dhan means wealth. And nowadays, if you ask the average person who knows about such festivals, what is the meaning of today? How are you supposed to celebrate it? They will tell you it's a good day to buy gold. So Maharaji you also used to kind of giggle at this, the dekho kalyug ka hal, how people have turned spiritual celebrations into purely material things. So Maharaji says Dhanteras is the day you're supposed to donate gold or donate wealth, not buy more gold. So today let's understand about the significance of charity. First of all, in a broad sense, we can understand from a story told to us in the Vedas where Brahma's children went to him asking for advice. Brahma, in the beginning of Srishti, created all the living beings. And all the living beings are broadly divided into three types. Sattvic type, the Devtas, the residents of Swarg. Rajas type, human beings here in Mrityulok. And Tamas type of beings, the Asurs, the demons. Each of these nominated one representative, one from Devtas, one from Manushya, the humans, and one from the Asuras, to go and ask their great-grandfather, Brahma, what are we supposed to do? How will we achieve our kalyan? How will we elevate ourselves and attain the goal of our life? So Brahma told them in code. He looked at the Devtas representative and he said, Da. And he looked at the humans representative and he said, Da. And he looked at the demons representative and he said, Da. And he sent them away. So now they had the answer, but they didn't know what it went. So they each went to their Guruji. Devtas went to their Guruji Brihaspati. And they told him what had happened, and they asked him, what is the meaning of this Da? So he said, what Brahma meant for you by saying Da is he means you have to learn Dham. Dam means restraint, or to suppress the desires of your senses. He said, you devtas are in Swarg, and you're just indulging your senses, enjoying all the celestial pleasures. So you need to learn some restraint, learn to suppress those desires. So for you, da means dam. The demons went to their Guruji, Shukracharya, and told him what had happened and asked him, what is the meaning of da? So he said, what Pitamaha Brahmaji meant by saying da to you is daya. Daya means compassion, mercy. You are by nature very cruel and violent, so you have to learn compassion and mercy and practice that. And the human beings went to Naradji and asked him, what does this da mean? So he said, when Brahma told you all that you have to do da, he meant dan. Dan means charity. He says all humans should practice charity. Vedavyasji has given us more perspective on this. Vedavyasji is avatar of Bhagwan himself. And he has written all the Puran and Mahabharata, and he's also the author of the Vedanta Sutra, Brahma Sutra. He also rewrote all the Veda and Upanishads. So in the Bhagavatam he says, Yavad bhriyet jatharam tavat svatvam hi dehinam adhikam yobhimanyeta saste no dandamarhati. He says that human beings have adhikar, have a right to accumulate as much as they need, jatharam, पेट को चलाने के लिए, just to keep your body going. That's how much you have a right. This is God's green earth. Everything here belongs to Him. So Vedavyasji says, if by some means you are able to accumulate more wealth and you keep it for yourself, for your own enjoyment, or to pass it on to your kin after death, or whatever your plan may be, he says then, sasteno dandamarhati. You will be considered a thief by the spiritual government, and you will dandamarhati. You'll be punished accordingly as if you are a thief. Vedavyasji is explaining to us that no matter how much we are able to accumulate according to our past karma, we naturally get a certain amount of wealth in this life, and according to how hard we work, we may get a little bit more or not. But whatever it is, somebody gets more wealth and then they think, oh good, everybody else is suffering but I have lots of wealth, let me enjoy it. It's only going to be a temporary enjoyment, because the one who does that in their next life, they don't get wealth. In fact, they may even get a big punishment. They may get sent to Narak for not having helped the others on earth who were suffering with not even enough to eat. We think that by accumulating more, we're going to find more happiness. But Bhagavatam tells us, Yat prithivyam vrihiyavam hiranyam pashavah striyah nalame kasya paryaptam tasmat trishnam parityajet. Even if someone were to own everything on earth, it's all given to them in writing. Everything belongs to you, all the wealth of the entire earth planet. Even then you would not be satisfied. Okay then, what if you owned even more than that? If you became Indra, the king of Swarg. Surpatir Brahmam Padam Yachate. Surpati Indra also desires for something more. He's also not satisfied. It's like becoming the governor of Texas and then thinking, okay, I thought I'd be happy when I became the governor of Texas, but now I see the president of the United States has more power. Let me try to become president. you keep setting your sights higher and higher. So Indra also sees Brahma above him, and he thinks, if I get the seat of Brahma, then I would be happy. And he desires for that. So for us to think that by accumulating some whatever paltry amount of wealth we can accumulate on this earth, that we're going to get happiness and satisfaction from that, it's absurd. Even Indra is not happy. Then how would we find happiness just through the accumulation of wealth over here on earth? Wealth can be used in one of three ways. Dan, you can donate it in charity. Bhog, you can use it for your own enjoyment. Or nash. Nash means destruction. Destruction of whom? Destruction of your kin, of your offspring. How? When you leave them wealth, you spoil them. Our scriptures don't say anywhere to accumulate wealth and leave it to your offspring. They say give it, give it, give it in charity. If they receive that wealth, they'll become lazy. They'll misuse it. They should have to work for their wealth as well. So either nash or bhog, neither of those is desirable. Okay, what about if someone thinks, I'll take it with me. Everyone says you can't take it with you. I'll try to take it with me. How will you do that? Will you buy whatever you have in your bank account, you'll use that to buy diamonds. That's the most concentrated form of wealth, physically speaking. And then get an operation to sew it underneath your skin. That won't work either, because you can't take your body with you when you leave this world. So you leave everything behind. You leave your body, you leave your possessions, your house, your family, your bank account. Everything stays behind. But did you know there actually is a way to take it with you? There's a special bank account you can deposit it in. Your spiritual bank account. Your karmic bank account. You do that by giving charity in this life. Whatever you gave in this life, that what you're actually doing is you're getting credited in your spiritual bank account. And in your next life, you get to withdraw all of that, plus interest. So however much you gave in this life, you get that plus interest in your next life. So you see, there is a way to take it with you. Give it away, and you'll get it again in your next life. But if you try to keep it, it's gone. You'll get some kind of punishment for having... It's the same as someone who tries to commit income tax fraud. And the IRS catches you, then you're going to be punished. There's an expectation that you're supposed to give this much in income tax. So something like that, we're all expected to give a certain amount in charity. This is the general understanding of charity, that it's something that's expected from us as human beings. All human beings, even a beggar, is expected to give charity. Even if for that beggar their charity is giving one 25-cent piece because they only have $10. So for them that's a big donation, but they're also expected to give charity. So we're all expected to give charity. We know in general that we'll be rewarded for that dan in our next life. But there's some more nuance to it. We have to understand more deeply exactly what kind of charity we're going to give. Gita says, Deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam. Gita says you have to consider, to whom are you giving? Is it the right person you're giving to? Is it the right time? Is it the right place? The circumstances of giving are also taken into account. not just our motivation. Our motivation, of course, should be to help someone else. However, we know that here in Maya there are three gunas. Sattvam rajas tam iti guna prakriti sambhava. Gita. The whole universe is made of sattva, raj, tam. Therefore, there are three kinds of charity. If we give to a tamas person with the best of intentions, but we gave it to someone, that word patre comes in Gita. The person, what is the patra? Into what vessel are you giving that charity? If you gave it to a tamas person, then you promoted their tamas activities. So you get a tamas result from that. In other words, you go to narak. For giving charity? Yes, for giving charity, because you gave it in the wrong place. Then there's rajas. You give it to a rajas person, they use it for their rajas activities. That's also not good. It's not as bad as tamas, but it's also not good. You give it to a sattvic person and they use it for their sattvic activities, then you get a reward. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha madhye tishthanti rajasa jaghanya guna vrittistho adho gachanti tamasa. Gita. You give sattvic charity or you do any sattvic karma, you're rewarded after you die. You go to Swarg. If you give rajas charity or you perform any rajas karma, the result is mrityu lok and adho gachanti. You go to narak if you give tamas karma. So we can't just say give charity. The next level of understanding is, to whom should we give that charity? The patra should be correct. It means that we should be motivated to give charity. We don't want to be counted as someone who committed income tax fraud. We don't want to be counted as thieves, spiritually speaking, that we had all this wealth and even after meeting our basic physical needs, we didn't give enough. We didn't give any, or we didn't give enough. We were greedy to keep it for ourselves. We don't want to be in that category. But we also don't want to give irresponsibly. We don't want to give to the wrong place. And understanding where the right place to give, that's our responsibility to find that out. We can't say, oh, how would I know? Oh, I gave with the right intention. No, it's up to us to find out. That is part of our responsibility of giving charity. We have to find the right patra, the right vessel to whom to give the charity. But there's a fourth type of charity. There's tamas, rajas, and sattvic charity. There's also nirguna charity. Gunebhyascha param veti madbhavam sodhigacchati. Gita. Shri Krishna says, I am beyond the three gunas of Maya. Karmadhyaksha. Shvetashvatra says, Eko deva sarvabhuteshu gudha sarvavyapi sarvabhutantaratma. Karmadhyaksha. Describing Shri Krishna, all these words are being used, telling that he resides in the heart of everyone, he sees everybody's karma, he is one, but he is everywhere. And finally, nirgunascha. He is nirguna. He is beyond the three gunas of Maya. So he is divine. Shri Krishna is divine and his saints are divine. The fourth kind of charity is giving to God. But how do you give to God? God doesn't have a bank account that you can go deposit it in. He doesn't have a mailing address you can send him a check. God sends His saints, His divine God-realized saints on earth to guide us. But one of the ways that we get benefit from those saints is we get to associate with them and we get to serve them. We all have a desire to serve Radha Krishna, but until we get the divine vision and we meet them face to face, we can't directly serve them. Until then, we can serve them through their jan. We serve their saints, and they accept that as seva. In fact, they're happier with that seva than if we tried to serve them directly. What this means is that this fourth kind of charity is the highest kind of charity. Because whether you give tamas charity or rajas charity or sattvic charity, it all keeps you under maya. Even if you give to a sattvic cause or a sattvic person and it's used for a sattvic thing and your intention was also sattvic, the most you can get out of that is swarg, and you all know that's temporary. It's within maya. So, although charity is good, but mayic charity, sattvic, rajas, tamas charity, that's not the highest form of charity. Devotional charity, where you give to a divine being, that is the highest form of charity. What happens when you do that? It's very simple. We're trying to develop bhakti for Radha Krishna. And the saint is our direct connection. The saint's grace is the catalyst for developing, opening up that experience of love for Radha Krishna. So any type of seva we do to the saint increases our dedication, the connection of our mind, our heart and mind to that saint, which allows more of the saint's grace to flow into our heart and purify it, which opens up that experience. In other words, we're getting bhav. The experience of bhav is the most treasured thing, the most valuable thing in this whole world is the bhav that a devotee has for Radha Krishna. Kabir Das says, Kabira sab jan nirdhana. Kabir Das says, this whole world is without dhan. The whole world is poor. Kabira sab jag nirdhana, dhanavanta nahi koy. There's nobody wealthy in this world. Dhanavanta soi janiye, jahi prema dhan hoy. The one who has the love of Radha Krishna in his heart, that prema dhan, that person is dhanavanta, that person is wealthy. Everybody else is poor. It doesn't matter if they're a multi-billionaire. If they are bereft of the love, the bhav, then they have nothing. They're beggars. And where does that bhav come from? Nam namakari bahudha nija sarva shaktis tatrarpita nyamitah smaranena kala. Etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaivami drishamiha janinanuraga. Gauranga Mahaprabhu Ji says that Krishna, you are so gracious that you've put all of your power, all of your love, all of your bliss into your name. And yet when I chant your name, I don't feel any love for you. Why? Because my past karma, my past spiritual transgressions, they block my heart. And I have no way of cleaning that out on my own. Only the divine Guru internally cleans that blockage out of a soul's mind. Then they're able to start experiencing the bliss of the name, leelas, form. Otherwise, they can go on doing rup dhyan, they can go on chanting. They won't feel anything. If they happen to be having a good sanskar from past life's bhakti, they might feel something fleeting, but it won't last. The only way to develop a stable and growing feeling of bhav for Radha Krishna is through the grace of the Guru. That's why Gita says, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. To know God, you have to serve the Guru. Shushrusho shraddadhanasya vasudeva katharuchi Syan mahat sevaya viprah punyatirtha nishevanat. Bhagavatam. By serving the Guru, even though you didn't have love for Radha Krishna in your heart initially, but by serving the Guru, you start getting a desire to hear about Radha Krishna. You want to learn the philosophy. You want to start doing devotion. You want to hear their leelas. How does that desire just blossom in the heart? Through the Guru's grace. But I didn't have that before. No, you started serving the Guru. And as a result of your seva, all of this started developing within you. And this is the most valuable thing. This is the only real dhan in this world, and it's the gift of the Guru. We receive that by serving the Guru. We can serve with tan, man, dhan. We can do physical seva. In other words, seva means offering something. It doesn't mean Guru needs something or Radha Krishna needs something from us. They have the ultimate dhan already. They have unlimited prem. And we're in possession of only material things, which are of no value to them. But it's an opportunity. It's a way of submitting our mind. It's a way of giving ourselves to them by offering some physical seva, whether it be doing some task in the saint's ashram, like cooking or cleaning. It could be doing some mental seva. Mental seva means doing sadhana, practicing rup dhyan according to the saint's instructions, remembering Radha Krishna throughout the day, doing Radhe breathing. All of that is mental seva. Or we also have dhan at our disposal, so we could do dhan ki seva. This is also such a huge grace. You know, one time Raghu, someone came to him to ask for a donation. A Brahman came to give a dakshina to his Guruji. He needed some gold. So when he came to Raghu, Raghu had actually donated everything. Everything from all his queen's jewelry to all the pots and pans and dishes. Everything was gone. He was just eating and drinking out of a clay pot. That's all he had left. When this Brahmin came and asked for a donation, then he told his karmachari, go and check in the treasury, do we have anything to give him? And he said, no, my king, there's nothing, not even one gold coin. So Raghu said, prepare the army. We're going to Swarg to attack Kuber. He had that much power. We're going to Swarg to attack Kuber and take his gold. Then I'll use that to donate to this Brahman. So Kuber found out that Raghu was coming. I mean, Raghu, when he was just a little kid, he had captured Indra. And his father Dilip said, oh my boy, this is Swarg ke Raja Indra. You can't treat him like that. Just let him go. So he let him go. So when Kuber saw this Raghu, when he was just a little kid, he captured my king Indra. Now he's full grown. How powerful will he be? And he's coming to attack me? Naradji had gone to him and said, hey, you're sitting here, bade tat se baithe ho, and Raghu's coming to attack you. He said, Raghu? Why? Kya aparad? What did I do wrong? So he just said, no, he needs gold. He said, okay. He used his power to fill Raghu's treasury with gold. So just as they were ready to go, getting ready to go, they were putting Kamdhenu's milk on all the warriors' eyes. With that, they were going to be able to see and go to Swarg. So then the Karmachari came and said, oh, the treasury's full. He said, okay, we don't need to go. So imagine this is the power of a saint. So do you think the saint needs our money? Hey, Kuber, get over here. I need some money to build this mandir. The saint doesn't need anything from us. So just like the saint doesn't need us to sweep the floor in the kitchen in his ashram, the saint doesn't need us to do any physical seva. The saint is not getting anything from that, but it's our opportunity to offer something. That's our way of becoming humble and more dedicated and surrendered. Through doing physical seva, our mind becomes more attached to the saint. And through doing dhan ki seva, the mind becomes more attached to the saint. So through that surrender, we get more grace. This is how we progress on the path. Not only sadhana is important, seva is important as well. And seva is done with our body, with our mind, and with our wealth. Although it feels good to do sattvic seva, you all know the feeling, sattvic dan, you all know the feeling of helping someone else out. It feels good. From the time I was a little boy, I remember my father used to tell me whenever I was in a pouty mood, I was a little, just mood off ho gaya, he would tell me, do something nice for somebody else, you'll feel better. And even though I was not in the mood to do something nice for someone else, whenever I did follow that instruction, it was always true. I always felt better. So we all know the feeling of doing something for somebody else. It makes us feel good. It's a sattvic type of happiness. However, the feeling you get from giving dawn to a saint is something else entirely, because you're instantly blessed with bhav for Radha Krishna. Many of you would have experienced this as well. And the saint may use that to help other people with health care, or giving the poor things they need, or doing any kind of charitable activities, or the saint may use it to build a mandir or a sadhana hall to spiritually uplift people. Leave that to the saint who is always following the will of God. What I'm saying is, the best kind of seva is giving the dan to a divine personality. That gives you the highest form of benefit. And other type of seva, of course, you want to do sattvic seva, not rajas or tamas. Of course, sattvic seva is also good if we are able to do it without pride, which is difficult to do. But if we're able to give sattvic seva without pride, it helps move us a little bit towards God. But if we give nirguna seva, if we give seva to a divine saint, that moves us towards God much, much more quickly. So this is the secret of dan. This is the secret of dhan. And I'll leave you with one final thought. Leading into our kirtan, Hamaro dhan Shri Radhe Ju ko naam. Shri Maharaj Ji in his Prem Ras Madhira Pad has said that my biggest wealth, my biggest treasure is nothing other than the name of Radharani. Param dhan Radhe naam adhar Jasu Shyam Murali Mahaterat Sumirat Barambar Param Dhan राधे नाम आधार। अलबेली सरकार की, श्रीमत सतगुरु सरकार की। So we'll sing this Pad Kirtan on this occasion of Dhanteras. श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन।
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 राधे नाम प्रताप श्याम भये।
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 रसिकन में सरनाम हमारो धन।
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 श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन।
श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन।
राधे नाम सिद्ध कर मुरली।
राधे नाम सिद्ध कर मुरली।
राधे नाम सिद्ध कर मुरली। मोह्यो बाम हमारो धन
तानन मोह्यो बाम हमारो धन
तानन मोह्यो बाम हमारो धन
तानन मोह्यो बाम हमारो धन
श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन
राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन
राधे नाम कृपाते द्वापर
राधे नाम कृपाते द्वापर
राधे नाम कृपाते द्वापर
राधे नाम कृपाते द्वापर
रास रच्यो ब्रजधाम हमारो धन
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 श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन
श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन
राधे नाम सुनत ही भाजत
राधे नाम सुनत ही भाजत
राधे नाम सुनत ही भाजत राधे नाम सुनत ही भाजत।
राधे नाम सुनत ही भाजत।
हरि अधीर तेहि ठाम हमारो धन।
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 श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन।
श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन।
राधे नाम रकार बिना रह।
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 श्याम हूँ आधे श्याम हमारो धन।
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 श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन।
श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन।
श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन।
श्री राधे जुको नाम हमारो धन।
करु कृपालु राधे की
करु कृपालु राधे
करु कृपालु राधे की
करु कृपालु राधे की।
करु कृपालु राधे की।
करु कृपालु
करु कृपालु राधे की।
करु कृपालु
रटना आठों याम हमारो धन।
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 श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन।
राधे जुको नाम हमारो धन।
राधे नाम सुनत ही भाजत।
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 हरि अधीर ते ठाम हमारो धन।
हरि अधीर तेहि ठाम हमारो धन।
हरि अधीर तेहि ठाम हमारो धन।
हरि अधीर तेहि ठाम हमारो धन।
करु कृपालु राधे राधे की।
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 रटना आठोयाम हमारो धन।
रटना आठोयाम हमारो धन।
रटना आठोयाम हमारो धन।
रटना आठोयाम हमारो धन।
श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन।
श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन।
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे।
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 राधे राधे श्री राधे जू को हम हमारो धन
श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन
श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन
श्री राधे जू को नाम हमारो धन
अलबेली सरकार की श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की भक्ति मंदिर की Dhanteras is the day 15 years ago. It's the 15th anniversary of the inauguration of Bhakti Mandir. It was inaugurated in 2005 on Dhanteras Day. Jai Shri Radhe.